Hello everyone and welcome to League Review. I'm your host William and my webcam is still not working for some reason on the thing. I'm gonna do some tests and everything on that this weekend. But today, it is a WildCard podcast, which I know would be usually a little bit of a longer podcast, but it's actually going to be a really quick podcast this week because the only league that has anything this week is the CBLOL. So Brazil is the only wildcard podcast wildcard team to play this week, so they're going to be the only team we talk about this podcast. I believe next week we have I believe it's Oceania and Japan. But I don't know. I know Oceania probably for sure, but I'm not sure about Japan off the top of my head. But we have a few more, and then 2-3 weeks from now, we'll start rolling in. So the Wildcard podcast, if you guys haven't watched it before, is talking about all of the wildcard regions besides for NA. And we're going to talk about briefly on each region. Obviously, because these regions aren't major developed regions like the LPL, LEC, and Korea, we're not going to do deep dives into each region because I don't have the knowledge or the time to deep dive into 12, I believe it's, no, -4, 8 different regions at once. So what we do instead is we do brief, I think roughly 5-minute discussion about the power rankings for the region, and then a 5-minute discussion on predictions with our previous predictions mixed in there as well. I try to spend roughly about 10 minutes each or so on each region. So with 8 regions, that'll be roughly about an 80-minute podcast or so down the line. That's the goal of this one. But since we have CBLOL, we might be able to spend a little bit more time. But I also want to try and get timing down for the most part for upcoming weeks. So it won't be a super long one this week. But first we have and there also won't be there's not as much build up, who's his number one, Fun Plus Phoenix, G2, stuff like that. It's more so just I like to think of the Wildcard podcast as right now I'm rambling, explaining it, but outside of this episode, I like it to be very concise. Yo, you want to know what's going on with all the wildcards? I don't know why I said yo there. But you want to know what's going on with all of the wildcards in the minor regions right now? Well, here's Brazil. Here's the last week's results from Brazil. Here's what I think are the power rankings currently for the best teams. And here is the predictions for next week. And then instantly go into OPL. Here's OPL. Here's how OPL did last week. Here's what the current power rankings are. Here's the standings there. Boom, 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 boom. Quick like that. That's the goal for this week and this year in general. So hopefully because I like to show it it's really cool, in my opinion, for MSI and Worlds, when you get to know the top team coming out of all of these regions and how they fought there and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And I just personally like that because I like to know as much as possible going into Worlds or MSI. So without further ado, the power rankings for the CBLOL this year might come as a surprise from some of you who are not as informed clearly on CBLOL, which is a lot of people, let's be honest. But number 8, we have Pro. I'm going to actually pull up here the CBLOL so I can tell you the teams. Pro is a new team that I believe they just came in from their minor league region, CBLOL 2020. Let's pull it up just to be safe because I know for sure VK is, but let's see. Prodigy. They stand for their Pro Esports, also known as Prodigy Esports or PRG, and they've coming in from their the minor league region of Brazil. They are brand new team, brand new players. So I am completely. They used to be Pro Gaming. That's what they were before. So Prodigy, Pro Gaming is a very similar name, and but they're brand new. They kept the same team that joined, except for Pilot. They lost Pilot, their their sub. So it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. But it's all new players. I personally do not. If I don't follow LPL and Academy for NA, I don't follow the minor leagues in Brazil as well. So I am excited to see them. I don't have any. So they're kind of an 8th by default at the moment because I have literally no clue how any of them are going to perform. So hopefully, I personally think I want to see them do good because I love to see new teams come in and dominate leagues. I love seeing that shock value. Number 9, or 7, sorry, not 9. There's only 8 teams. Is Redemption. Redemption. I thought they were going to be so good last split with White Lotus. If anyone remembers White Lotus, he was their ADC. He popped off at Worlds one year for it wasn't Rainbow. It was Rainbow 7 for Leon, or I believe it was Leon he was on. But man, I'll look it up. White Lotus was on Infinity. No, he's currently on Infinity. He was on INTZ. He was on Rainbow 7. That's what it was. Which was Lion Gaming disbanded to become Rainbow 7. That's what it was. There we go. And then that's where he popped off at Worlds and made a pretty decent name for himself. He was he picked up by Redemption last split, and nothing really worked. Redemption completely fell apart at the end of the split. They started out like 3 or 4-0, and then I believe they finished near the very bottom of the entire league. So I think they were like 6th place out of 8. So that's not great. And losing White Lotus and losing Days for Fun and Codpiece, which are the 2 substitutes, they also lost their jungler Zhao, and pretty much most of the team left. So this is a fresh team without their main carry. So I'm really not expecting too much from them here. I don't think many people are. And we'll see. I do like them, and I actually put Redemption as one of my favorites to win it last year because I was so on board with White Lotus. But unfortunately, nothing just kind of worked. Next, we have the one that might be shocking that I was talking about with Flamingo Esports is down as the 6th best team for me currently in the CBLOL to start the year. If you haven't followed Brazil, off season, Goku was extended, their mid laner, and if you remember Flamingo from Worlds last year, they went toe to toe with Damwon at some point, so that was pretty good. But Goku remained. They lost Shrimp, their jungler, who was arguably one of their best players. Robo, their top laner, also great. And brTT, their ADC. So they lost 3. In my opinion, they're 3 of their best players. Goku was number 4 on that list. And then they kept... they have JoJo, which I don't remember. Lucy left. So, yeah, they lost everyone. I was going to say, I don't remember JoJo. So, yeah, Lucy left as well. So, they lost everyone. Oh, Lucy then rejoined. Look at that. Okay. We got Lucy back. That's good. So they do have Lucy still and Goku, but the rest of the team is completely brand new. It's going to be a little bit tough for me to see this team moving on and moving forward. Shrimp actually does not have a team, which actually surprised me. I don't know if he retired or not, because it would have said, I think, here instead of none. So that shocks me quite a bit because Shrimp was very good. He was the Korean import on the team, along with Lucy. But yeah, without brTT, Robo, and Shrimp, not looking forward to seeing this team, how they perform. This is going to be nowhere near their Worlds run last year. Team number 5 is the team that's very hard to see in my ranking system here because they changed their perfect logo. They used to be great. This team, Furia Uppercut. And if that name rings a bell a little bit, it's because these are my boys, Uppercut Esports, my favorite team from the CBLOL. The kangaroo punching up with the boxing gloves on. I love this team. I love the support of them last year. They changed the logo. You can win me over with a logo. If you've learned anything from watching this podcast, is a logo goes a long way for me. Logo and marketing. And man, they lost it, They still are bringing back the same thing. I'm still going to root for them. It's still the same players for the most part. But, I mean, you don't have a kangaroo with boxing gloves. Uppercut Esports with the kangaroo and boxing gloves is one of the best. I'll pull it up on the screen. I'm gonna save it real quick. If you are new here, if you are new here and you didn't know their logo last year, let's do copy image, and then let's just save image because it's not gonna work that way. But this team had the greatest logo. I don't care what anyone says. And they ruined it by putting this. I'm going to put it in here, and we're going to have that as their logo this year. Let's look at this. But yeah, they're still the same team. They made top 4 last year, which I was pretty impressed by. That they made quite a little bit of a run towards the end of the year. But look at that right there. How do you go from that to this? Like, sure, it looks a little cooler, and you got like this like cool like panther like thing, but is it a kangaroo boxing gloves? I don't think so. It is not, and I rest my case on that alone. And it's a buff kangaroo, but though I know most kangaroos are pretty buff. But look at that. Look at that. It's a great logo. And I'm very sad that logo is gone from the league. It's a sad day everywhere. All right. Back to seriousness. We have VK, which if I can get back here, Vivo Keyd. Is that how you say that? Vivo Keyd, possibly. Keyd. But they are another brand new team coming from the Challenger Series league. They pretty much have a few new players, but the biggest upgrade I thought was they've got Robo into it. Objection. Ryan, objection. The kangaroo is not wearing boxing gloves. Listen, when I pulled up that logo and realized he wasn't wearing boxing gloves, I tried to glance over as much as possible. I remembered that incorrectly, but he still had like the boxing tape on his arms. Okay, it was close enough. It's still a 10 out of 10 logo. Keyd stars. Nope. This is Vivo Keyd, and they are the Brazilian esports team, formerly known as. Oh no, you're right, Keyd Stars. Oh look, Ryan knows his Brazilian league. What the hell? Oh, I did not know that. They renamed to Vivo Keyd after announcing a new partnership with Vivo. Look at that. Brian, why are you not on this? CB LOL podcast. Apparently you know more than me. But yes, Robo joined the team, which is the thing I'm most excited for. I'm actually, this is a team right here where I'm kind of going all in on here. Where I still have him 4th, which is fine, but I think that having Robo as a leader on the team, plus all the new players from the Challenger Series, we can see them really make spark in the league, especially in a league that's kind of... Flamingo was the super team of this league, and they kind of broke up. So this league is up for anyone's grabs because none of them went to the same team as each other. Robo went to Vivo, and brTT went to pAIN, and Shrimp didn't get team. So this will be very interesting to see. Right, that I've watched for many years and seen many a world championship. I'm at least kind of aware of a lot of teams. Yeah, is that short? Is that a summary of you just being old, Ryan? Oh man, I'm legit very impressed that you knew that. I'm so impressed. Team number 3 is INTZ. INTZ Legend Dragon. Or you said Legend Dragon. Awesome team name. Awesome team name. Bad team. I don't even know. I remember you mentioning the team name. I don't even know. That team doesn't even exist in my mind. But INTZ, if everyone should remember them as ENTS. It's the worst team name in the league. Not just the CBLOL league. In the League of Legends professional scene. There's not a single name that's worse than ENTS. INTZ is they won the CBLOL back in spring. They actually made a run for it back in summer. They made it, I believe, all the way to the finals against Flamingo, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, not again!" Both times they did that, they were like a 4th or 5th place team coming in to the playoffs, and they just had their miracle run in the playoffs. So they were objectively bottom, middle of the pack in CBLOL, so when they went to MSI, they actually got just obliterated. Luckily, I do not have my webcam on because I just spilt water all over myself like a child. So glad you didn't get to see that again. Just like yesterday where I almost fell over. But yeah, so this team is okay. They're bringing back most of the same team. I think that actually brings them up with more experience. By having more experience on this, and then also, what am I trying to say? More experience. They were a middle of the pack team. They've made very good playoff runs, and by having some of the super teams break up, I think they are rising more to a second place finish this split. Ryan's still talking about Legend Dragon. Legend Dragon was an LPL team having LDG and Legend Dragon in the league at the same time. Was confusing info. Like Dan and Dan. Yep. People need to copyright their names. Needs to happen before we have everyone play the same name. Like there's an Asta in the freaking. There's an Asta who plays jungle in CB LoL. I'm like, oh, Asta is a support in or an ADC in NA Academy, or I don't know if he still is, but he used to be. He used to be on Optic. Alright, Kaboom, I have as the number 2 team. Kaboom, always like Kaboom. They went to Worlds last year, not like this previous year, but like 2 years ago, I guess now you could say. They've always been a solid team coming out of Brazil. They've looked good. They have Duds the Boy still. Seos as support, which is not the same not the same as Saros, the mid laner on Detonation Focus Me. But yeah, they lost. Who did they lose? They only lost a few people. Nothing too serious. They did lose Ranger to Flamingo, which I think is a little bit of a big hit. But outside of that, they're looking pretty solid. I think they have Parang and Wiz, their top and jungler. Both Korean imports. It's actually interesting to me how many Korean imports actually go to Brazil. It's very Brazil. Does Brazil pay well? I think they do, don't they? Like for most of the other wildcard regions. But yes, you have Parang and Wiz join. Brand new roster, or brand new additions to the roster, and I think they're going to actually play through the top and jungle side of the map while having duds on bot lane to lock bot lane down. I think that overall they're going to be a good team. Overall, very good team. Ryan said that's why my league name is unique to my name and has no vowels. No way someone uses it. Yep. Yeah, I feel like Stun Muffin could be used by other people. I gotta lock my own name down. I'm being a hypocrite. I also just gotta play more Taric, so it makes a lot more sense. Alright, number 1 team going into Brazil this split is pAIN Gaming. pAIN came onto the scene last split after being on... I believe they were in the league previously. They did lose Minerva as their jungler, which I love that name because I'm a gigantic Fire Emblem fan. Like, I might like Fire Emblem just as much as I like League, like lore-wise and stuff like that. Oh, I love that series. But, they lost her, or him, her in the game. I don't even know if it's probably not related whatsoever, but that's what I see it as. They got brTT still, they got Key as their support, they got Kami and Tinones in their jungle, Shongwan, wow, let's pronounce things properly here. Songwan, probably not pronounced properly at all, is their jungler still, and they have Yang as well into the top as their jungler to replace Minerva, I should say, and they have Yang in their top lane. All around, I love having the addition of brTT. brTT is a monster in Brazilian League. He's a legitimately really good ADC. Ryan's over here saying that brTT's over Doublelift. I know that was mentioned before on a Twitter post from brTT, but I love the swagger, I love the attitude. Draven player, like I love seeing that, especially in the wildcard region. And you could tell there's a lot of passion behind it. He really wants to win more than like let's say Royal Youth, because I saw almost zero passion on Royal Youth the entire Worlds, which very frustrated me so much. I'm still salty about it. But yeah, I love seeing that passion, especially in wildcard regions. They know they're the underdog and they accept that responsibility of being the underdog, and then they kind of like they play into it. So, and they consider themselves really good in Brazil. Like all Brazilian fans always consider themselves very good. And I think Flamingo really stepped up. They had a brutally tough brutally tough Worlds group with Royal Youth and Damwon Gaming, but they were unsuccessful there. But I think they put up a good fight. They put up a good fight against Damwon, and I think that was fair enough, in my opinion. I know some Brazilian fans are probably upset that they didn't get past Royal Youth, but Royal Youth going into Worlds was my favorite for all wildcard teams coming in, so I thought that was very unfortunate for them. But yeah, pAIN is probably going to be your new leaders, I would assume, like kind of like Flamingo. I wouldn't consider this as strong of a super team as Flamingo had last year, but I would keep an eye out for it to see if they gel together well enough, we could definitely see another dominating performance similar to what Flamingo had in the split in CBLOL. I do think it's a lot more wide open. I think it's a 5-team race, in my opinion, for first tier. I think any of the top 5 could actually perform well enough to actually pass or be the champion. I really don't see it from Flamingo, Redemption, or Prodigy. But to be fair with Prodigy, that's a complete unknown. So there could be 6 teams here, honestly. Wait, Ryan wants pAIN Gaming is back. They came back last split, and they were actually pretty good last split as well. And they pulled Team Liquid. Somewhat, yeah. It's a decent. Let's say more of an Evil Geniuses, where they get they pick 3 people. If that's what you're trying for building a super team, they pick up 3 solid people instead of 5. If that makes sense. But yeah, they're pretty decent last split. I actually I liked them a lot, and then they faltered for a bit. They had a mid-season slump that put them almost in 8th place, and then they got back and were in the playoffs and were actually pretty good. But man, they had a rough split towards the end of summer split or split. It's called split 2 in CBLOL because it's not summer and it's actually winter right now, right? Southern Hemisphere. I'm not crazy. Yeah, I'm not crazy. Or it's summer right now. It's winter for us, but yeah, you get my point. Yeah, I know your thoughts on EG. But with that, let's go straight into our predictions as well. That is much more detail than you're gonna get on most of the leagues, by the way. Like I said, we're gonna try and cap it to 10-15 minutes max per league for this podcast, but I figured I could extend a little bit more and just share a tiny bit of my Brazilian knowledge. It's not my wildcard knowledge is not nearly as strong as I would like it to be since I've only watched 1 split, but I'm hoping that it will advance the more splits I watch. Because NA, I've watched 6 splits of NA now in a row. No, 5 splits of NA in a row now, and then I'm up to 3 on all the major regions. So Wildcards have only had 1, so we'll hope that it expands in the future, and especially this year. Alright, my predictions. Game number 1, pAIN Gaming versus Flamingo. It's these schedulers know what they're doing. Having brTT face his former team on the opening game, absolutely give me that. I do have brTT being very successful with this. I think he's going to stomp Flamingo, and I don't know if there's any bad blood, because to be honest, I don't follow the off season as hard in minor regions as I do in other ones, but I really think that pAIN Gaming is going to be the team to beat. So, and I'm curious to see what Goku does now with the brand new team, and without Robo Shrimp or brTT, that's a lot to lose in the prison. Those are players that all can have a shot at the at a NA level, or I wouldn't say they'd be top of leagues. I don't have the same level of expectations as I do with Fofo coming from the LMS, but I definitely think they could play decent. I put them around the same levels Closer coming in for Golden Guardians. Brian said, but expect me to chime in with unrelated factoids and snide remarks to make up for it, dear viewers. And then Brazil, NA, and China giving us the proper opener. What's the deal, Europe? I know. I don't know what Europe's about. All right. In game number 2, we have VK versus Prodigy. And until I see something from Prodigy, I'm going to pick VK just because they have Robo on team with a bunch of rookies. I think that's a very solid, like, combo. Like, getting a seasoned vet that went to Worlds, won a championship in CBLOL, and getting them able to, like, prep the rookies in the offseason is very strong. Both these teams are brand new, obviously, so are brand new to the league this split. So I'm really excited to see how they perform. But I think VK is going to outperform Prodigy for sure, and have a chance for the title. INTZ versus Redemption. I believe INTZ is going to win, and I think that is mostly because Redemption losing White Lotus, losing your best carry, and not really gaining too much is, it's not the best situation in the world at all, and unfortunately, that's just how it's gonna be. Fiora. Nope, it's not Fiora. Fiora. Wow. Jesus. I feel like such an American the last 2 days, and I am sorry, because I love... I feel like such a stereotypical American, and I hate it, because I love travel. I actually have never actually traveled outside the United States, but, like, I don't like the insult of, like, oh... English is the only true language or whatever. Like, I hate that kind of stuff. I love different cultures and stuff like that. I just can't speak. I can barely speak English. So, giving me other languages sucks. I need them to make a white logo as soon as possible, because if they don't make a white logo, because that logo is literally invisible except for the white eye on there. And, but, like, there's no white logo anywhere at all on Google. So, they need to hurry that up, or they're getting uppercut. The uppercut kangaroo is coming back for next week's podcast if there's nothing there. I'm absolutely going to put that kangaroo right back there in its rightful place. Either way, I have them actually upsetting Kaboom in game number 1, because I actually really do like this team. I really liked this team last year, and bringing back the same team under a different logo, I will still give them a win in my first bold prediction of CBLOL for 2020. And Ryan said it's only going to get worse as Korea and the rest of the wildcard region start. Yeah, man, it is. It's rough. I was just talking to someone the other day, like, asking, like, I wish I knew, like, other languages. Like, language classes were, like, my hardest classes for me to learn, as, like, more of a math, and actually I'm kind of bad at math, but I'm really good at, like, science, and I was really good at science in school, I should say. Haven't been in school. I haven't even been in college for 4 years now. But, but, like, yeah, sciences and, like, some types of math, if it got to calculus, it was a little too difficult for me. But, like, algebra and stuff, crush that stuff. English, actually okay at, with, like, writing papers, but speaking in general, I was bad in Spanish class. I had a Japanese class freshman year of high school, and I was really bad at that. I had a sign language class, actually. I kind of liked them my sophomore year of high school, but then I changed schools and they didn't offer sign language anymore, so that kind of sucked. But outside of that, I've only had, like, Spanish and Japanese, and I used to have speech issues back in elementary school in general for English. That's why I think my English is kind of messed up already, because I learned how to fix that a little bit, but it's still an issue at some points. But, like, the rest of the languages are... Oof, my tongue gets confused. Ryan said maybe you can paste the logo on the white circle and paint and use that instead. I could, Ryan. Thanks for telling me while the podcast is live. I didn't think about that. Oh well. But let's be honest. Is that more... Would you rather have that, or would you rather have the kangaroo back? Because I would rather have the freaking kangaroo back. So I might be just sticking with that. This isn't an official podcast by any means. We can do what we want. VK versus Flamingo. I think VK is also going to take down Flamingo on day number 2 of the games. This is my team to watch out for sure. Oh my God! Ryan just said I want to see the kangaroo fight the G-Rex. You're so right. Is G-Rex still a team? I hope so. I don't know. I'd have to check that. I'll check that at the end of this podcast. But yeah, I think this is the team to watch out for sure. VK. This is where I'm putting my dark horse. Put your dark horse bets on them. They're gonna shock some people. Uppercut as well is going, or they're not even uppercut. They're uppercut. Uppercut is going to be Prodigy again. Again, Prodigy could be the new E-Star. I don't know enough about them yet though, so I'm gonna have to wait and see. Until then, I'm going to pick against them. The LMS doesn't exist, but the PCS does, and that is where the LMS teams went, Ryan. So, unfortunately, Flash was disbanded, but the other ones I think are still going to be in there. And Mega also disbanded because they weren't paying their players, which is a disgrace. And I feel no sympathy for organizations that do not pay their players. It's a disgusting thing to do. People gotta live. People gotta get money and they gotta live. Next we have Kaboom vs. Redemption. I think Redemption's going to lose that game. Again, I don't see anything. I honestly should have put Redemption 8th and Prodigy 7th just because I have more hope in Prodigy than I do Redemption. Just because I don't know anything about them. They're a bigger question mark, but in a good way. Where their Redemption is not so much to me. Maybe they'll do good, but to me, I don't see it. It is the PCS. I'm looking at it right here. Yeah, Pacific Championship Series. And finally, before we dive deep into the PCS, we're going to talk about pAIN Gaming versus INTZ. This game is actually probably match of the week with just skill-wise, talent-wise. And it's, of course, it's the last game of the week. But I think pAIN will be able to take that. Again, I like INTZ, but they are like to me, they are like the splice of like CB They're very boring. They're not very explosive. Like, they're just there. They win. They're good enough, but they're just there, if that makes sense. Or like Flamingo was super flashy, super explosive, very fun to watch. INTZ just gets the job done. Nothing flashy, nothing there, but they get the job done. So yeah, I'm picking pAIN. I want to see brTT shine, do some flashy stuff again, and hopefully that will pull them all the way in. They'll pull them into first place along with Uppercut and VK. Legacy team in Brazil. They are a legacy team. All right, but with that is all we have for the CB LOL. The podcast will end briefly, but Ryan brought up a great point of the PCS that I wanted to know about. So here we go. Here is the PCS. I will give you the teams because they actually added all the teams now. Yay, there was one team that did not make it, or they did not have. So this starts on February 8th, so we still got probably, I believe that means we have no podcast next week about it. So 2 weeks from now we'll have a podcast regarding the PCS. And they have AHQ is back. Alpha Esport. How the hell is Alpha Esports making it? You're telling me Flash Wolves got eliminated, but Alpha Esports made the commitment? You gotta be kidding me. Unbelievable. If you don't know, Alpha Esports were like the dead last team 2 years in a row. To be fair, they were not dead last. Dragon Gate was dead last in Spring Split, and then it turned out they were They were throwing games on purpose. So that's kind of for their owner to make money, and their owner got arrested. So besides for that, Alpha was the worst team in the league. The Bearjaya Dragons, I've never seen that logo. Kind of a cool logo. I like it. G-Rex coming back. Ryan, you can breathe. You can breathe a sigh of relief. G-Rex is coming back. Along with Hong Kong Attitude, HKA. J-Team, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams from the LMS coming back. Out of these 7 that we had last split, 5 of them are coming back. Flash Wolves are not coming back. And, Mad! Wow, how the hell is Mad and Flash Wolves the only 2 teams? Yes, they still have the G-Rex logo. You are A-okay. Everything is safe, I promise. But yes, Flash Wolves and Mad are the only 2 teams to not make the new switch. They did not pull an uppercut. You're good. Lyab Esports is the second place team from Megas region as well. They are still in here, so I'm actually excited to see them. I don't know who Nova Esports is. I don't know who Resurgence or Talon Esports are. I actually follow Talon Esports on Twitter just because I saw they did cite Hanabi, which I was super excited about. So I have high hopes for them. But that's a teaser for another time. Because, hey, we got Rocky G4 are on Nova. So Nova is the new Mega. That makes sense. Okay. Enough about that. We don't have to talk about that for another 2 weeks. Alright, let's wrap this up. Alright, guys, thank you guys for watching. This is the CB LOL podcast. We don't have players to watch out for because there'd be way too many players. And, again, we're doing 8 regions. If you want a player to watch out for, I'm just going to say brTT. He's the most fun Brazilian player to watch, for sure. And, yeah, let's see how he does on the pAIN Gaming, which was his old team, by the way. So he is back on pAIN Gaming where he wasn't before. But, what's Ryan had to say here? Also, why do all the teams with all the awesome dragon names suck ass? Legend Dragon, Dragon Gate, Team Dragon Knights. Kingzone Dragon's not terrible, right? Yeah. All the dragon names are never... It's apparently a secret little curse in League, is if you have a dragon name in your team... Hey, the All Knights of that have the dragon logo for LLA are actually really good. They just could not beat Isurus last split. That was the one. They were like the next best team. But yeah, that's enough. That's enough. We'll talk more on Discord, right? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry the webcam is not working. That's really weird. I'm probably just gonna unplug it, replug it back in, do a quick synopsis on that, and like maybe Google a problem. If it doesn't work, then maybe I'll just buy a new one. But yeah. Anyway, that will be all. I'll see you guys Sunday for the LPL podcast. Nope, we won't be doing LPL because of Chinese New Year. I'll see you guys Monday for the Korea podcast. I guess let's check real quick. Korea starts on the 5th, which is... Nope, we won't do a Korean podcast. I'll see you guys Tuesday for the NA podcast. Jesus, we don't talk for it in a while. Yeah, and there's no China or Korea podcast next week, so it's just going to be NA podcast with Ryan. We're going to talk about how Team Liquid and Pobelter is the best jungler in NA. Good night. See you guys Tuesday.